Very good. All right. Now we have a bunch of people. It's always a cool thing when I can't see everybody, right? Okay. Okay. So we are going to get going. My name is Beth Emerson, and I am the VP of Rules. You'll see Satu there, wave. Satu is the chair of our line dance committee. And then we have Sean Parr, who is a member of the rules committee. And then who else? Sherry Huggett. She's, you could say something, or you'll see her on the name if you scroll across. And Kathy St. Jean are also with me on the rules committee. So I like to get, as you listen to some of these rules roundtables, it's nice for you to start knowing who's on the various committees that we have, right? We change each of the subjects for the VRRs, the virtual rules roundtables. And this one is online and specifically on the new things this year in line. So we'll start with the Honky Tonk and then Starter, and then we'll go through the other things that were new this year, right? Honky Tonk is exactly what it sounds like. Just for fun, something you might do in a club. Anybody can enter. So anybody from any level is allowed to enter Honky Tonk. It looked like, I didn't see the results, but it looked like at Europeans, there was a wide variety of levels entering Honky Tonk. How did it go? Sean, can you tell me your story?
Yeah, it was fun. Like you said, there was a different range of levels and ages that entered open so that they could all kind of dance against each other and make it fun. So yeah, it was cool.
Very cool. And the ages for it are, Sean said they all entered open so they could be against each other, but there are junior, open, and silver ages. So there's 3 age groups in Honky Tonk. Okay.
So Beth, I have a question. If they enter Honky Tonk, they can also enter the other line dance, another line dance division.
That's right. So a newcomer could enter Honky Tonk, or an advanced can enter Honky Tonk. Right? So the Honky Tonk is it's a for fun category, right? And any level can enter, and yes, you can enter at the same time. So somebody that's dancing newcomer could also dance Honky Tonk, right? So it's sort of an extra, sort of like we used to do Renegade. It's just we have a dance and it's not Renegade. But that's the idea, is that's for anybody division. Thank you for asking, Mona, since I didn't think of saying that. Any other questions?
Yes. Well, I talked with Satu about this, about the requirement for boots and hats for Honky Tonk.
Uh-huh.
And she said boots and hats are required.
So our rules say right now, and since this is such a new division, if you would like to request something, then the rules committee can talk about it. But since this is the first year we've had this division, we did not think to do different rules from our regular rules, right? And our regular rules say if it's country music, then you must wear boots and a hat if you're a male, right? So yes, right now it is required. Maybe in the future, if it was requested, we could talk about it. But generally, we require country costumes for country music.
Well, I would like to request that the rules committee look at that, because if the goal is to get social dancers, at least where I live, there's tons of bars where people do line dancing, and most of them, well, many of them don't wear boots and hats. And I just think, like,
so can you shoot me an email to that?
Yes.
To that, so it gets on the agenda. Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to request that you guys look at that.
Okay, I'm happy to let the committee talk about that. Kathy, oh yes, I should have said that at the very beginning. Go ahead, Kathy. Wait, is everybody else hearing Kathy?
Yeah, no, that was me. So
Okay.
that I just want to be sure I'm clear that does it have to be the UCWDC approved boot, or any boot is okay for Honky Tonk?
No, it is a UCWDC boot because right now the costume rules are not different.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yes,
Perfect.
that's a good
Thank
question. So the costume rules are exactly the same as other divisions. We did not do any exceptions for costume, right? So, and we could in future, we didn't even talk about that, right? Maybe we should have talked about that, but nobody asked any questions about it. Thus, we did not change it. We just left it like everything else, right? Good question. And I completely forgot. Kathy reminded me, if I don't see you, if you do at the bottom of the page, you'll see the reactions, right? And the reactions lets you put a little hand up. If I say if there are any questions, you just respond, that's fine. But if I don't see you, please put your little hand up so I can make sure I get everybody's questions answered, because that's important. Okay, so other questions about Honky Tonk? Yes. Flavie, hi. Good to
Hi,
see you.
Beth. We do have a question. We started with
Yes.
Honky Tonk at the German Dance Cup, and for example, Mallory wanted to compete with her mom because it's just a great experience. You can do it with various age differences. Are superstars allowed to compete as well?
As is what now? Say it again.
Superstars for Honky Tonk?
Oh, yes. There's no limits on who can enter.
Perfect, thank you.
Anybody can enter. Yeah. We just decided, and in future, if people request, we can talk about it, but we did not limit the levels that could enter Honky Tonk. We said anybody could enter. So that means anybody. That means, somebody from anything else. Yes, Jennifer.
Since this is a UCWDC sanctioned dance, would it be correct to say that you can win a world championship in this category?
Yes, you can win a world championship in this category. Even though it's for fun, there's still a competition aspect to it. So yes, that's a good question. And yes, it will happen at World. Yes, Terry.
So is there the vanilla rule or anything goes?
Yeah, we do. Again, we didn't think about doing different rules, right? So it is the same, the vanilla. So the first time through, please do the vanilla. Yeah. We do want to know that you actually know the dance.
Right, that's what I was wondering.
So that's the thing. So when we started this division, it really was for fun, but we did not do any special rules for this. So at least at the moment, it's just all our normal rules, which are costume and vanilla, just the regular rules. If in future people think we should change that, then feel free to come to the committee. This is the kind of thing that'll go to the rules committee. And if the rules committee thinks it's a good idea, then it would go to the line committee to make sure they also think it's a good idea. Right? Because we want to make sure lots of people consider, especially in something new like this, we don't want to make changes willy-nilly, right? We want to make sure everybody's sort of on the same page and it's well thought out. Thank you. Good questions. Mona.
Okay, so back to the world champion thing. That is, so they just have to do the two dances, A and B, and then it's like an overall. So there'll be a world champion in potentially junior open silver, and then male and female are still separate though, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And then the vanilla rule is the vanilla for novice and above.
Yes.
Right? Because newcomer has a different vanilla rule.
But so Honky Tonk doesn't have levels. So
Right.
everybody has the same rules. So even if I were a newcomer, I don't have to do the vanilla all the way through because I'm entering
No, that's what
a
I'm saying.
division.
It's,
That's right. So it is
it's the rule for
of
novice and
novice and above. Yes, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're correct. That's exactly right. So it's not like the newcomer vanilla rule, right? All the
Gotcha.
way through. Yep. Good question. I like good question. Anne, what's your question? Hi.
Well, hi everybody. I would suggest that they have to do vanilla because you know you're introducing people to our country dance, and it's for new people, you know. And I think if they think superstars can enter, they're just going to be put off right away.
Well,
At the European Championships, the kids, it was all the Irish kids that were and the girl who won didn't win her division, and the girl who came fourth won her division. It was because it was just plain and simple. You had to do the dance, and that's it. You know, we didn't do variations, and I think that's what honky tonk should be. There shouldn't be any. It should be vanilla. My feeling, it should be vanilla. If we're
so
looking
if
to
that's a
take new
request,
people in,
Anna, and if that's a request, would you please shoot me an email so I can get on
I will.
the agenda?
I will.
But just so everybody realizes, the purpose of this one was for fun and everybody can do it, right? And the purpose of starter, which we'll get to, was for the brand new people. So starter is under newcomer. For brand new people, even easier, and it has, we'll get to that in a bit, it's got even more ages, that sort of thing. So the purpose wasn't to get just the brand new people, it was to do something that was just for fun, right? Thank you, Anne. Donna, and then Satu has some comments.
So what is the criteria for a honky tonk then? What are we looking for? If we vanilla this,
Good dancing. I mean,
okay,
it's
if we vanilla this, are we really representing what's going on in the clubs and honky tonk? No, I don't think so. I think the first thing is yes, we want to see they know the dance. After that, I think it's all just like Renegade, all hands on deck, whatever happens.
yes. But that's still going to be, so entertainment is part of the dancing, right?
So
It is
give me the
entertainment.
criteria that is set up for.
But, okay, so let's
as a judge,
table that discussion. So if you would like the criteria of what is judged to be different, please talk to Clive. Shoot Clive an email, because that has nothing to do with rules, and that can't come to my committee. So
But
how judge
but
it?
you're ruling it, so I need to know what the rules are. You're ruling honky tonk, so tell me what the rules are for.
The same rules as every other division.
Okay,
It's
so you're
not
gonna
motion specific,
Right.
but you do need to do the vanilla the first time, and then you can vary it just like any other division.
and the best answer wins.
And the best answer wins. That's exactly right. And obviously, even in regular divisions, entertainment is part of what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, but
Yeah.
it's the entertainment in a
Not-
club
not
and the
different-
entertainment in competition. Classic
It's
competition is
Not
two different
different
things.
rules. Yeah. Thank you for asking, Satu.
Here we go. Yes. Hello, everyone. Yes, just to comment a little bit on other questions people ask Beth too. So honky tonk, like, it's also because of promoting the country dance sport, because like mainly what you're gonna see in honky tonk is what, especially in the US, what you see what's popular in the country bars, what you will see on in the honky tonk division. It is necessary to do the vanilla. Like, the reason why we have the same rules as the classic rules is because if you look at the competitions actually at the bars, is where the same rules kind of apply. Everyone has to do the first wall vanilla, and then you can make variations on the second wall, but it still has to go into the same direction. Which makes it fun to watch. Like what Beth says, it's about entertainment, and also the best dancer can win on that. I think I also saw a question on, like, I think Mary Hannah said something like, is it fair to have a superstar competing in Honky Tonk? Well, maybe we shall see in the future. However, if you look back in the days when we did Renegade, for example, which was a novice all the way to superstars, it wasn't always that the superstar or an advanced dancer won the division. Like many times an intermediate or novice dancer won because they had the best moves, the best entertainment, and the best show on the floor. So that's all I wanted to comment.
Thank you, Satu. Appreciate your jumping in. Kathy.
But I think all of these things are really good questions to help everybody understand. Do we have this clearly written out in the rules?
So yes, what the rules say is that it's not different from any other division. So all the rules that are in the other divisions apply to this division. We did not do any different rules. If in the future people want different rules, we can consider that, but we did not do different rules.
So
right? Same rule.
We probably need to find a way to advertise this to everybody, then they can refer to the rules. But I'm not sure a lot of people really understand this exists, and it's for fun, and I think we need to, I don't know, let's talk afterwards and figure out.
I can certainly try and put an email out just to remind everybody that it's not different rules. And it's not a bad idea to have a summary of both Honky Tonk and Starter anyway, just because they're brand new divisions. More people know about them, the better.
Cool.
Thank you, Kathy. Mona.
Well, somebody else asked this in the chat, but I thought it was a good question. What is the qualification for Worlds for Honky Tonk?
Not different. Still 3 events.
And
so
one overall, and overall is the 2 dances?
Correct. The overall is the 2 dances. Just like any other line dance division, if you already have done classic at 2 events, then you could just do 1 event in Honky Tonk and be eligible, right?
Gotcha.
Sort of like, so that's still this, again, that's not different eligibility than the rest of the divisions. We have already had a couple of requests to review that. And the reason is because they sort of, they think of line dance, Starter and Honky Tonk as sort of the entries into different ways. Honky Tonk would be coming in through the clubs, and Starter would be the very, very new people, right? So we have had requests for those to be like our couples syllabus divisions, newcomer 432, and just 1 event make you eligible for Worlds. And that will be considered at the fall meeting, and look for an email. But right now, when we created the division, we did not do anything different than our other rules, which is still 3 events or 3 events in line dance and 1 in each division where you're going to dance at work. That's the same. Thank you, Terry.
So currently UC offers Honky Tonk and Starter at every event.
Every event that offers every line dance division, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, any event can decide that they don't have time to do whatever, right? But most events offer all of the line divisions. This is part of the line division. So if any event offers all line divisions, this would be it. This would be it.
So Honky Tonk, as we said, coming from bars, aren't experienced in rules, which is why I thought Honky Tonk was open at Worlds, like anyone could do it at Worlds and compete.
No, we did not. I mean, that again, you would have to request that, but I find it, I mean, you could ask that the committees review that
So
And
it wasn't just open, like walk, sign up, you had to
No.
have already qualified.
yes, you had to do qualifiers, and that's because it is a world championship division. So it's not just a single event. Yes. There is, I mean, we'll already consider the people that had suggested had requested it be one event. So for instance, wherever Worlds was, if the people did this at their local event, then they could enter at Worlds.
Well, I see that Honky Tonk coming from bars
Yep.
should maybe be lowered, whereas Starter, your brain is already working towards competition type line as
Yeah.
opposed to Honky Tonk is
If you-
introductions.
If you
supposedly.
have a request, please shoot me an email and I'll send it to the committee. Thank you, Terry. Jennifer.
I just wanted to spur something off what Terry just said about signing up at Worlds. There is a dance hall division that has 2 categories of line. So that there's like an improver or a starter division and an intermediate advanced. And you can't sign up for those without a qualifier. And there is a prize. Belt buckles are sponsored by Robert Royston's company. So it is not a UCWDC championship. It's a dance hall championship. So it's a social competition, but that is, you don't have to qualify for those.
That's probably what I was thinking. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Jennifer, for reminding us of that. That is important because yes, there is something at Worlds that you don't have to be eligible for.
Okay. That's
that and choreography, right? Are the 2 things that don't require previous entries at other events. Dance hall divisions and choreography divisions. All right, other questions about Honky Tonk? If not, we're going to flip over to Starter. Yeah, okay, so Starter is for brand new people. That's not an anything goes. If you've done other divisions, you don't need to be Starter. You can be a newcomer, right? But this is designed for, there's 2 different reasons. One was so we had the younger ages. So many of you may remember that we used to have several different dances for different ages in junior primary, right? And what we decided to do was have those various ages in Starter. And then once they got to primary, it's the regular division ages, right? So that's 0 to 9. But that's for kids, a very wide age range, right? So if you look at Starter, you'll see there's a 0 to 4, and we call it primary 0 to 4, primary 5, 6, and primary 7 to 10. And then 11 to 17 would be just the regular junior division, right, in our Starter. So now our regular newcomer only has the regular ages that are in all the rest of them. So they would be doing the regular newcomer dances, 3 of them in primary newcomer, right? And they're same dances that a junior, or excuse me, an open or U13, all of them would get the same dances. Primary dances in newcomer are no longer going to be different. The ones that are different are going to be the Starter, because those are for the very young ages, and so that'll have separate dances, right? Just like Honky Tonk, the thing that's like Honky Tonk is that it's a 2 dance overall. So it's not a 3 dance overall like our regular newcomer divisions. This is a 2 dance overall. Okay. The rest of the divisions, the junior open silver, is the same as Honky Tonk. So there's a junior division, which in this case would be 11 to 17, right? Because there's the younger primary ages, and then an open and a silver. Okay. And this is, even though they're not motion specific dances, this is designed for people that are brand new to the sport. Right. So this is a way that it's a little easier to get into the sport. So it's under our regular divisions rather than sort of next to them. That makes sense? Again, rules not different, right? The eligibility is the same for Worlds as the rest of the division. Questions? questions. No questions about starter. Wow, that was quick. Okay. Okay, I guess that everybody got all their questions out during Honky Tonk. Yes, Mona.
Oh, so you said the rules are the same, costuming rules are the same as newcomer then?
Correct.
About the boots and hats not required till Worlds?
That's exactly correct. Same thing. Just like
Okay.
newcomer.
So
Yeah.
it's same as newcomer.
Same as newcomer. Same as newcomer. Again, we're thinking of starter as the one below newcomer, and Honky Tonk is the combined levels one. Right? So we wanted starter to be for brand new people. And if you do want to get a world championship, then you need to get a hats and boots. But at a regional event, you can wear just like any other newcomer, you can wear what you've got in your closet.
And
Right?
they can't enter newcomer and Honky Tonk? I mean, they can't enter
can't.
starter
No,
and
they
Honky
can't
Tonk.
enter starter. They can enter starter and Honky Tonk or newcomer and
can't.
Honky Tonk, but
Okay.
not starter and newcomer. So
Gotcha.
think of starter as a different, I mean, actually, technically, since we put it below, you could dance up, right? So
Right.
if you were doing starter and doing overall, you could dance one or two of the newcomer dances if you wanted. But once you do an overall and newcomer, now you can't go back to starter, right? The normal dancing up rule. But you could do that from novice to intermediate or intermediate to advanced.
Yeah. But they could
So
do the
that-
starter and the Honky Tonk.
Yes, absolutely. They could do starter and Honky Tonk, or newcomer and Honky Tonk, or advanced and Honky Tonk. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Good questions, Paula. Hi, Paula.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I hear you.
Yes, my microphone is always off in my computer. I have a question about graduation. Is there some graduation rules for going to newcomer?
Again, not different. So the graduation rules are like a newcomer, which means it's winning 2 events with 3 or more people or winning worlds. Right. And so that's the same graduation criteria as it would be for actually, and novice too. So starter, newcomer, and novice all have the same graduation rules, right? Intermediate requires 3 instead of 2, and advanced requires 4 to crown or superstars, right? But all the rest of them 2 events, so it's not different graduation requirements. Thank you, Paula. Good question. I didn't think to say that. I appreciate everybody's good questions. Other questions about starter? Yes, Satu, did you have something to contribute?
Here
Yes,
we go.
the hardest part of the whole thing.
I'm on my phone, so it's really hard to touch all the little buttons. Just so you know, for this year, because of the whole like boot and costume rules and like wearing boots and country costumes at Worlds, just so you know, because this year the songs or like the line dances are the Funky Shuffle and gosh, the name is just gone. Cold Heart, which is both dances or like both music is non-country. So basically when you go to Worlds, like if you are a starter and you want to go to Worlds, it's non-country music, which means the other rule, you don't have to wear hats and boots.
Good point. So I did not go over that. So because it's the same rules as all of the rest of our divisions, if it's non-country, then you're not required to wear country costumes. So Satu is pointing out for this first year, they did 2 non-countries so people could pretty much wear whatever they want. Right? And that will be in future, you'll have to look at the step description and see whether it's a country and there are costume rules or it's a non-country and that those rules would not apply. Right? So, and that's the same as all of our levels, right? In country music, you're required to wear country costumes. If it's not country music, then you're not required to wear a country costume. Yes, good point. Thank you, Satu. Didn't even think about that, but that is completely correct. Yes, Anne.
Yeah,
Wait.
Beth, I did speak to you. I did speak to you about this, about the qualification for Starter for Worlds, and I will put it in an email. But I do feel Starter for Worlds maybe shouldn't have to do 3 qualifications, because if you start at the beginning of the year, you have a whole year, you know, to qualify, and by that time
and it is already on the agenda. So
okay, okay, no bother.
So that was absolutely on the agenda.
No bother. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that was the most requested of any rule in any level in any dance type. Was that Starter and Honky Tonk not be the same eligibility as everything else, right? Yeah. So that has a very good chance of happening in the fall. Okay, other questions about Starter? Any other questions about Starter? No question. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to go over, let me get my announcement out just so I can not be looking at it. Were anything that was new this year, right? So last year we added Platinum, Newcomer, and Novice, right? To line Platinum, Newcomer, and Novice. And then this year we added Platinum, Intermediate, and Advanced. And so it's great that we added those. We have had some requests. So as you know, we do allowances for the older age divisions for the, you know, what they could do instead of something that's really difficult, especially in intermediate advanced dances. If somebody that's especially in platinum or even in gold has a request of something they would like to replace because they don't think it's safe for them to do it, right? Do a very quick video, have your friend video you or your teacher or whatever, and then send it to us, right? And we'll make allowances because we don't want people getting hurt, right? So if that's the case in your level and you don't think it's safe for you to do X, then please let us know, because we may not have thought of all the places that ought to have allowance, right? So I did get at, I have yet to have anybody actually send me anything, and you could send it to either me or Satu because probably both committees will have to look at it anyway, right? It'll be both a rules and a line committee thing. So you could send it to either one of us, and that's totally good. We haven't actually got any yet, right? But we have told people if they have things they don't feel is safe for them to do, the requests like that, then we're happy to take that under advisement, especially platinum. I mean, think platinum, intermediate, and advanced. Now, we may not have very many of them because it's a new division, but as we all get a little older, right? We have to be more and more careful about what we do with our bodies. We don't want to hurt ourselves. Questions just about platinum that we added? No? Again, we added all the way through and it's not different rules than the rest of the ages. Yes, Donna.
Yeah, so Satu knows, I'm on the line committee and we do try to be very aware of the things that are being handed to us to communicate that back to the rest of the committee that we need to fix those things and make variations for them. I don't think you're gonna get a whole lot of people responding to you for that because it's a lot of trouble. I think that's our responsibility, is to fix those things ahead of time and make sure that they understand. I have not heard that communication, Beth, so I'm on the line committee. I'm also a judge, and I feel like we've lost some communication across the board. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I don't understand why we're not getting that information. You're giving out information that you're not telling us about. And I think we need that information to know when we get to an event that someone sent in a video of what they're going to do.
We
I'm-
will.
Yeah,
If that
so
happens, you will know.
I think so.
content
What's
coordinator
our
will tell you.
responsibility to fix that before it gets to before it has to go out to the public, you know?
Go ahead, Satu. I'll let you answer that one. I can tell you want to.
Yes, no one has sent a video in or whatever, so that's why there is no communication. It's just simply, I think honestly, I think we did a good job this year with the committee to make everything pretty well for every division. And actually, if you see, it's the advanced rise and fall, for example, where we have an allowance for crystal, diamond, and silver, and we have a different allowance for gold and platinum. So,
And
and
that's
I
our responsibility to keep the liability off of our shoulders of causing somebody from getting hurt, because they could sue.
Yeah.
They literally could sue us. And I'm thinking about that all the time.
Yeah, and I think everybody on the line committee is thinking about that, right? This is just the ability to request is if there is something that the line committee did not think of, right? As if you're looking at the dances, you will see, as Satu was saying, that there are already allowances there. It's just that the possibility exists in case the committee didn't think about a specific place, or you have a more severe limitation than maybe the general person does, right? And you think it's not safe for you to do. Thank you, Satu. And Donna too. Yes, Morad. Light on the path. That's cool.
That's my company. Yeah, the question I have really is about platinum, in that obviously before you did the platinum division last year for line, I wasn't dancing line anymore because I wasn't physically able to do intermediate dances, and particularly against gold. But I think people don't know that you've made this allowance yet, and that needs to be publicized, because there's a lot of people might not be competing because they say, I can't do that dance. And that's what I was thinking, because I mean, I turned platinum in 2020. So
yes.
21,
yes.
sorry. So there's a lot of people might think, oh, I'm not going to go up there because I can't do that. I just think we need to publicize it more, that there is this opportunity.
And we can definitely try and publicize it more. As Satu and Donna were saying, there are already allowances on the website. So if somebody actually looks at the dances, they will see allowances that the line committee's already put on there, right? But we can try and publicize that. So that's a good idea.
Thanks.
Yes, absolutely. Very good question. Other questions? No other questions? Okay, great. Okay, let's see. What else was the other thing I was saying? Oh, the only other change was, so now that we have Superstars Plus, in addition to Crown Plus, we have Crystal now goes to Superstars Plus, right? And if Crystal goes to Superstars Plus, that means, like Superstars, you must do all the dances, right? So as a reminder, that means all 6 dances, not like Crown, the rest of the divisions that go to Crown, where you don't do street, right? So for Superstars Plus, you do, as advanced, you are going to street. All the rest of the rules were not different, right? But once you are in Superstars Plus, then once you've done an overall in Superstars Plus, and this is not different from Masters or the other side of it, once you've done an overall in Superstars Plus, then you can go back and forth from Superstars to Superstars Plus if you feel like competing with the young whippersnapper. Right? But it is available, but just remember in the back of your head, because Crystal does go to Superstars, right? Now it's all the dances. Questions about that? I'm actually kind of excited that we're going to have our Superstar Plus. I think that's really cool. Yay. Questions about that? Most of us thought that was pretty self-explanatory. Only one person last year that did not get that message, which was very, yes, Satu.
Yeah, and just to clarify with you, Beth, when you do when you're dancing Crystal Advanced, like you have to do a full program, so 6 dances. And I also do think you need to do 3 qualifiers, 3 times full programs, I believe,
Yes.
right?
Thank you. That's correct. So the same, so instead of 3 events, or it's still 3 events, but it's 3 overalls, right? And that's the same as Open Advanced going to Superstars. So Crystal Advanced going to Superstars Plus. Thank you for that reminder, Satu, because that is different than it used to be. So since it's the avenue to Superstars, now you need to do all of your events you need to do overall, right? The same rules apply if you were doing Showcase also. You could have done some overalls in Showcase and some in Classic, and that would, but it does need to be 3 overalls in any division where you're earning your way to Superstar, right? Which means Showcase, Open Showcase, and Crystal Advanced now, and Open Advanced. So all of those divisions are going to Superstars and Superstars Plus, so they all have the same eligibility rule. Good point. Thank you. See, I forgot that. Other questions? No? Okay.
Risma.
Yes.
It says you want to ask a question.
Yes. Did you have a question, Risma?
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I want to I want to ask you if somebody already have get the 4.4 superstars, and then they want to upgrade to be I mean they already have a superstar plus, and they want to upgrade to be a superstar. So should they have a compete for the open to get the
So
to take
they
another?
have 2 different avenues. If they have done all their wins in Crystal, right? And they're eligible for Superstars Plus, they can dance for overall in Superstars Plus. And then once they have done that, they can go back and forth from regular Superstars to Superstars Plus. Okay. Or they could go for their wins in Open, right? And earn their way in that way. Either one is available. And that is up to the individual. It's sort of like Rising Stars, right? Could continue in Rising Stars for several years, and the year they turn 21, they can go to Superstar. Or they can go back to Advanced and win their way up to Superstar through Advanced. So there's 2 different avenues to get there. Neither one is right or wrong. It's just 2 different avenues.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bradley.
Hey, I just wanted to make sure I understood what you just said. So if someone is in Crystal Age Division and they get to Superstars Plus, they can decide at any time to not dance Superstar Plus and dance Superstar.
That's correct. If they have already done an overall in Superstars Plus. So you would first have to do your overall in whatever the ladder you went up in. And then after that, you can choose which you're eligible, which you would like to dance in. Yes.
So you could compete against people that are in a higher age division and then go around winning Open. So if someone wasn't winning Open, they could switch over to Crystal, get into Superstar Plus, and then just switch over to Superstar.
Correct. And the opposite is
couldn't win Open.
So if somebody's already in Superstars and they decide they are of the age they could enter Plus, then they could enter Superstars Plus also. So people could go back and forth between the 2 once they have danced in the ladder where they enter. So that's both Superstars and Superstars Plus have that rule. That is correct. Yes. Thank you for pointing that out, Bradley. Very good. Mona.
Okay, I guess I was like partially asleep during that. So somebody could get to Superstars through Superstars Plus?
Yes. Yes. Just like people can get to Masters Plus through Masters or Masters through Masters Plus. So once you have gotten to Superstars Plus, then you could also dance Superstar.
So you don't have to qualify through the open division anymore to get into Superstars?
You could go there by getting into Superstars Plus and then going back and forth. That's correct. You would have
You
to
can do
dance
that in Masters as well?
Mm-hmm. You could.
Oh,
That's actually
okay.
already been in existence in Masters, though people haven't done it yet. Most people would
Oh, I
stay
didn't.
around. Once they're in Masters, if they get older, they want to enter Masters Plus. The Masters Plus have not yet wanted to go down to Masters, but they could.
Gotcha.
Same rules.
Okay.
Yeah, it's different in Masters. The difference is in Masters, you cannot get to Masters Plus through Crystal, right? Crystal goes to Crown once you're of that age. You have to enter through Open, right? And that's because there's a big difference in the ages of what Masters Plus is and what Superstars and Superstars Plus is. So Superstars Plus is 30 and over, and so Crystal can enter there, right? Masters Plus is 45, and so you could have gotten to, you still need to come up through the Masters, and then as you get older, then you could enter Masters Plus. So that is different, right? You can't enter Masters Plus through an age division. That is different than line because the age divisions are different. Thank you. Let's see, Bradley, you had another question.
Yes, as a follow-up.
Sure.
So you were mentioning that if you were in Crystal, I assume the judging, so you get your graded score as well as your ordinal ranking.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume the graded score adjusts based on the age category that you're in. Is that correct?
Yes.
So for me, I'm almost 30. What is the benefit of me competing in Open when there's nobody in Open to try and get scores versus waiting until I'm 30 and competing in Open to try and get scores because there's no one in Crystal anyway to try and get to Superstar Plus and then just switch to Superstar? That's
totally up to you, right? There's not going to be a lot of difference in people's judging between Open and Crystal. But there's probably some difference, but it's not a lot of difference. And that's a completely a personal decision. Everybody gets to make their own choice. You get to decide where the advantage is, what you want to do. We're not trying to steer anybody toward any particular path. Your path is your own path.
Okay, yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome, of course. Other questions? No other questions? Okay, what time is it? 8:52, woohoo! It's actually where I am, it's 6:52, but where I live, it's 8:52. All right. Well, thank you for coming, everybody. I'm excited. Yay! So this means now we have, going forward, our rules roundtables will happen at 3 different times, right? So it's sort of late afternoon, evening for the States is terrible for Europe and okay for Asia. And then we do middle of the day, which is terrible for Asia, but okay for Europe. And then we do early morning, which is okay for some of the states, terrible for other states, but better for Europe and Asia. So we'll be alternating the times, right, that we do our virtual rules roundtables to be different times of the day, just like everyone. Thank you, Slavi, for the thanks. And if any of you have subjects that you think we should cover as a roundtable that you think lots of people have questions on, please shoot me a text or email and I will add them to the list of things we're doing. Yay! I don't know anything else.